All right, I'm live. What's up, YouTube? I thought I could do this in the horizontal format, landscape. Guess not. So yeah, this is like my one video per year that I average on YouTube. I'm like, I got a whole 60 subscribers. I'm practically famous, and yeah, I'm coming with real 2008 YouTube vibes. I'm not. It's not super edited. It's not uh, all the fancy clips or nothing like that. It's just stream of consciousness, me sharing. But you see the title there though, Millennial Existentialism. And really it's not just millennials, but that's the group, that's the generation I fall into. So I figured I'd just put our name on it. I can relate to that group who are my age more than anybody. But yeah, man, we live in a time now where it's just so many people, and you can find this all through TikTok. It's so many videos you can search where people just really don't even know what's the point of things anymore. And I'm not just talking about myself. This is not me just projecting and throwing it onto everybody else because I've talked to other people. And like I said, it's videos all through TikTok, already on YouTube with people discussing this type of stuff. We don't know what the point of our lives are anymore, or at least it's a significant population of us out there. We were sold so many things from birth, and the kind of the cookie cutter lifestyle: go to school, get a degree, get a job, get married, buy a house, have some kids, work, die. And every step of the way, that kind of that illusion in one way or another, or that path that worked for our parents and grandparents, like it ain't shaping up like that for a lot of us. The world's not really set up for that to just be a successful path, or you had to go into so much debt. You already at a loss when you start. You playing catch up even from the beginning. Real wages have not kept up with real prices, or the cost of living is insane. The idea that so many millennials who would maybe late Gen Xers, early Gen Zers who would like to start a family, but it's just like, who can afford it, right? Um, Home buying is just a pipe dream for a lot of people, and I consider myself fortunate in a lot of ways. I put some work in, but I consider myself fortunate too because I am sitting here in my own home. Um, so there are a lot of things that kind of worked out, but I had to suffer to get this. Only 3 years ago, what is today is January 29th, 2024, or January 30th. 3 years ago, I was in my mom's house, back in my mom's crib on a disability check. 2 years ago, living with a friend. Last year, I had my own place that I was renting. This year, I'm in my house. So, I mean, things have come a long way. Uh, I have had some fortunate breaks, but went through some rough patches too, not just with finances, health, mental health, and whatnot. And yeah, man, a lot of millennials out here, they don't know what they're doing. We don't know what we're doing. Like the dream I was sold, where it was, where is that now? Like, could I even ever even achieve that? The world more expensive than it's ever been. And I'll say this too, like I'm on here with, I got my house and stuff, but it's like I barely can afford the car though, right? If I get a car, that between crazy ass insurance in Michigan and a note, that's taking everything I got left at the end of the month. So I'm just a hamster on the wheel. First time something fuck up or break or whatever, I don't got it. Now I'm right back in debt. So you have one thing and then you're struggling to get another, right? It ain't all good, not just yet. Um, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm just coming off the dome with this, but yeah, so many of us just don't know what's what out here, and we trying to make something out of nothing or make it make sense. Apathy is rampant. Or what they call it. I forget the term here. I know in China they had a word for it which translates to like bed rot. Like basically, I just don't get out of my bed. Like, what's the point? I know that I've had times, even as recently as a few weeks ago, where yeah, it's just like outside of my absolute necessities that I have to do, my job, whatever, like I get in bed and I'm kind of just like, man, like get up for what? You lay in bed and doom scroll instead of actively participating in your life and in your day, because sometimes you kind of just get that overwhelming feeling of like, what's the point? Like for what? What am I doing? Where is this going? Um, and it might be something different from everybody else. Maybe one person is just a money thing, another person is well, I got a little bit of that, but relationships, right? It's so hard today's world. It's crazy how you can have so many people who want the same thing, but the means in which and how people come together is kind of not there. Dating apps, vast majority of people, that's not it doesn't work out well, right? Vast majority. I know that's not gonna be everybody. The good old fashioned way. I mean, we do everything else on the internet now too. So meeting a mate online, it's kind of what people default to, but social media completely changed the dynamics of that. Kind of skewed the whole game, changed everything for better or for worse. I mean, most probably would say for worse, but yeah, man, we just living in interesting times. We living in an interesting world. And I'm thinking about the movie Fight Club. We have We're the Middle Children, history, no Great Depression, no Great War. The Great War is a spiritual war. The Great Depression is our lives. Like, man, like people just trying to make something out of nothing out here. And it's crazy how kind of like in 2024 now, like the time jump from COVID to now just seems so crazy. Like, um, or just, to think about COVID is like, did that even just happen? You know what I mean? Like 2020 seemed like so far ago now, but also at the same time, not that long ago. We already in 2024. And yeah, just a lot of trauma in between those years for a lot of people. And yeah, man, average American just can't afford life. It's already a crisis with even with baby boomers who experienced the greatest economic growth in history, and they having problems with retirement. So it's just kind of understood now. They talking about, oh, we moving the retirement age up, but the reality is most millennials are not expected to retire ever. Like you gonna work till you drop, man. That's what it's expected. And then Gen Z is just, whew, the hope is even less. And I'm not gonna say it's not there, but the one thing I can say about us as millennials though is, and I was born more specifically for me, 91. I do remember a time before the internet as a kid. And I'm actually very glad about that. I'm very glad we grew up in a time before that. And even when we did start getting internet access, it wasn't the high speed, right? I mean, Facebook came out the year I started high school, and it was something so different back then, right? Without all the advertisers and marketplace stories, and it was a very different thing. Only young people on there. Um, Instagram came out like my junior year of college, and even then, again, Instagram was so different back then versus what it is now. There was no super complex algorithm. There was no explore page, right? It just truly was a timeline of just your friends posting stuff. And I'm actually glad to have, you know, that social media was in its infancy during my time in high school and college. And yeah, because for it to be what it is now and to be in school, like it really can warp your mind. It does warp your mind. I look at my niece who's 13 and how just absolutely sucked into TikTok she's been pretty much her whole life at this point. And just thinking about what the long term effects of that will be on her, if any. But I mean, man, these kids are sucked in. Gen Alpha, I think she is. But I don't know, man. Maybe I could offer some solace here. If I watch a lot of these philosophy YouTubes and whatnot. So a lot of times it can just help to know that, man, I'm not the only person out here going through this or thinking about this. Again, like I didn't have a script written out for this. I'm not like Cole Hastings, shout out to him, huge channel. Just sharing a stream of consciousness about something that's on my mind a lot, you know. I have, you know, weekly, sometimes even daily existential crisis. Like, man, what's really what out here? Like, what am I doing? Or, you know, even if I have accomplished something or done something, you know, a little bit of time goes by and that's the norm now. So then it's just like, all right, what's the next thing on the hedonic treadmill? And here's something else too. I think I'm not really somebody who believes that, or a lot of people like to think that, you know, I want to find my purpose, or that every single person on earth has a definite purpose or reason why they were born. And the world, as I look out into it and observe it, it doesn't really seem to be that way to me. I don't identify as a Christian, but I can acknowledge something good when I see it. The saying in there, many are called, few are chosen, right? So it would seem to me that there are a small group of people who, you know, come here, or, you know, incarnate here on earth to really shake shit up, and to do this, or to make this change, or to make this huge impact. And, you know, you look at somebody's life and say, man, they're having such an impact that has to be what you were born to do. And if I could only find what I was born to do, I'd have that impact on others, and with making money and changing lives and all that. But as I observe the world, I don't believe everyone has that. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Right, because then some people could say, nah, that's nihilism. But then there's the optimistic nihilism of, if there is no one purpose for you or for anybody, that means you're free to choose, right? Purpose is something that you would create for yourself versus trying to discover or find what it is. And do you maybe have a knack for certain things, or are naturally drawn towards certain stuff? Sure, but you know, your life path is open for you, and it can be what you want it to be. And that can be a liberating thought, right? Instead of being depressed or sad that you don't have one definite purpose for your life, let that be a positive thing, because you get to create it. You get to make it. You don't have to wait for some shaman to tell you, or, you know, for it to be revealed to you. You know, you have control over your life, because if you were chosen, then you don't have free will. It's all these channels on YouTube that like to say chosen ones. They use that chosen ones title for certain people, and I know how that can resonate with, depending on how you think and what your life is like in your mind. Like, yeah, you feel like you were chosen one, but chosen ones are the ones who choose themselves. If you were chosen by something higher, then you don't have free will, because you know, you were chosen. You didn't have a choice. The choice was made for you. You were chosen. It wasn't your choice. So, right, like in the Matrix, they tell Neo, you know, you've already made the choice. You didn't come here to make the choice. You came. The Oracle told him, you didn't come here to make the choice. You came here to figure out why you made that choice. So you got to play it out. But the choice was already made. If you're struggling with purpose in your life, you can choose your own purpose. It doesn't have to be what somebody handed to you, or gave to you, or God revealed to you. And if you do feel like you've had that experience for yourself, then that's what's up, and that's cool. I feel like I've had that experience a few times, actually. And your purpose can change, right? You can do something, and you know, burn that fire for some years, but that fire can kind of burn out, and don't feel bad that, like, oh man, I don't have the passion for that anymore. That may be okay. It may be time for you to pivot, or you've evolved as a person, and that passion, it was in a perfect alignment with who you were at that time, and you rode that wave, and you evolved. And maybe, you know, that's not a wave you ride for a lifetime, but, you know, you ride it for as long as it can go, and you find your next one, man. And you know, just create your own purpose in this life. And it doesn't have to be, you know, children. I'll probably make another video on that. You know, leaving a legacy. Well, children really are meant to carry on a legacy, not to be the legacy themselves. Get a phone call, you know, these damn spam calls. But I'm of the mind that trying to get people to remember you after you die is a virtually impossible thing to do. And yet that's the name of the game with legacy, right? That's what our entire life is supposed to be about. leave an impact because it just feels like a good thing to do, but don't be, just the right thing to do, but don't necessarily be overly invested in if somebody gonna remember you. It would have seemed to me, it don't matter what you do in this life. The highest achiever and the person who achieved nothing, man, 100 years from now, neither one of y'all probably really gonna be that remembered. People, oh, what about Alexander the Greater? Yeah, and name one other person who died the year he died that you remember from 2,000 years ago. Like, you got a better chance of being struck by lightning than anybody remembering who you are 2,000 years from now. And again, that's nothing to be sad about. Like, my life was meaningless. It was meaningful to you, to the people who you were alive with at the same time. Uh, you know, it doesn't. Why even care so much about who remembers what? Like, that's another liberating thought to me. You free to just do what you gonna do. It's like a double-edged sword. Like, people don't want to post on social media because I'm scared of being embarrassed or people will judge. Bro, people ain't even thinking about you that much, and ain't nobody gonna remember anyway. The average, how fast do you scroll through content? You got 2 or 3 seconds to keep somebody's attention before they hit next. So the positive side is if you put something out there that you think is kind of embarrassing or whatever, people not gonna remember it no way. They're not gonna remember it one way or other. So, like, why be afraid to put it out there? Why be afraid to watch this video? It's nobody watching. I'm on live, nobody watching. That's cool. Somebody might watch the playback, maybe not. But I get the thought out and just start the process of me, making these videos. So, millennial existentialism. We all looking for a purpose. Why are we alive? Trying to read some Nietzsche, read some Albert Camus, figure it out. Absurdism. Life is absurd. The dark night of the soul. Like, what am I really doing? Hard to say sometimes, or you would drive yourself even more crazy thinking that there is one thing you're supposed to do. Maybe it's just be alive and live your life. Do what comes naturally to your heart and just do whatever it is that you can do that nobody else can do. Or just find something that you really, follow your highest excitement, Abraham Hicks, the Bashar, and see where that leads you. See what gets revealed to you. It doesn't always have to be clear from the jump. So, I don't know, man. I think I'm going to just stop it here. I hope my rambling was of some value to somebody. If you like this video, man, give it a thumbs up. Maybe I'll make another one, something similar. I'm going to leave with this. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Sisyphus from the Greek. If you don't know what that means, look it up. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. All right, y'all, I'm signing off.